Hi there, my name is Ryan Scott. I'm the head of product for DNA Behavior, and we're striving to make DNA Behavior the most technically approachable, practically used behavioral platform out there. So I'm going to give you an overview of the platform, all of its features, and how you can use it to understand your clients and employees on a deeper level. So when you log into the system, you're going to see a full dashboard that's a high-level view of all your records. So our original goal with the DNA behavior system was to unlock behavioral insights out of PDF reports that were traditionally used in assessments and personality tests and make it more usable for the company. So as you can see here, our 10 personas that would be similar to the big four, big five personas that are out there, we have 10 of them, and they're all outlined in this graph. You can drill down, see more insights, and see really the ongoing use of the system. I can see the most recent activity in the last 30 days, and I can select records from here. We have some interesting tools. Market Mood is one of them. It predicts the current market fear or exuberance of any employee or client base. So we have some firms that use this for very interesting reasons. We do a lot of work in financial services. We do a lot of work with public companies. So you can predict how current employees of a public company would feel about their current stock or their current portfolio, and then that might leach into how they're actually performing in their job. So we know, based on all of our behavioral finance and behavioral economics research, that if individuals are worried about money, their job performance suffers. And we use many different money insights in order to give this insight to HR teams and executives so they kind of understand what's going on with their employee base. So I'm now going to jump into the users tab, and you can see all of the users that are inside of my account. So again, you can see that everything in the system is very interactive. We tried to not rely on PDF reports and bring everything out in graphics and charts and make it more interactive. So I'm going to choose one user. I'm going to choose Ronnie here. And as you can see, the system automatically defaults to the Work Talents tab. So the system is very unique in that we measure money insights and also work talent. So I can see how Ronnie would approach money and how he would budget in an office or a division. Are they a spender or a saver? Are they going to be very good at following the budget? Or are they going to be more loose? But I can also see how he would work in the workplace with his colleagues. Is he going to be more results or relationships focused, daring, careful, systematic, flexible, promoting or operating? We also have many different math-based insights that do a lot of the legwork to figure out how close people are into proximity and how well they're going to work together. So Jessica is logged in as a leader right now, and you can see that Jessica and Ronnie have a 70% style match. That means they're going to work pretty well together, but there might be some modifications. Higher style match numbers, so if you see this in the 80s, the 90s, that's going to mean that they're almost exactly the same person. Very low scores mean that there's going to be a lot of modification. There's very, very different. Like other traditional assessments, we do drill downs on factors and traits, but we don't just have 4 scores. We don't just have 8 scores. We have 64 scores. So I'm going to open this up. You can see that there's a lot of drill downs you can do in the system. So it shows you all the scores. So the way that this works is there's an overall factor group. So this factor group is commanding, and then we have various traits below that. So underneath the main command factor, we have take charge, authoritative, self-reliant, and frank. And you can see if someone is on one side or the other of the equation. And it gets very interesting as you match this up with 2 people or a team, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Workplace Insights, this is a population-based insight, so we have over 3 million people that have taken the full assessment. You can benchmark the particular person versus the population and put it in terms of a percentile basis. So if we're looking at one of the strengths for this particular user, you can see quickly makes decisions with confidence. He's a 73 out of 100. So that means if he was put in a room of 100 other people, he would score higher on this than 73 other people, meaning that 27, or the opposite, 27 people out of the 100 would score higher than him. We also go into strengths, struggles. A lot of our work is in communication keys. We have career insights, and behind the scenes we have a full SOC code database that's running this. So we operate on a lot of standards and we're very data centric. You can see that we have preferred contact method. So we tell you very transparently if your employee would be better with email or phone or coming to a workshop, how they particularly learn. And we also show you how relatively close people are in proximity on the unique style chart. Now, any of the insights as you're getting used to the system, if you want to learn how to use the insight, just click and you can explore. We have a full knowledge base library that explains every single insight and how to use it. And oftentimes we will use common approachable language that will help you bridge the gap if we're used to another behavioral system and are moving over to DNA behavior. To that point, another cool tool that we have to help you learn all the insights is Gene. So in the bottom right-hand corner is our Gene AI bot that we've trained on over 10,000 pages of behavioral text. So let's say that Ronnie here is an adapter, and I don't quite understand what an adapter is. So I'm going to first just ask Gene, what is an adapter? And Gene will provide a very good answer on what an adapter is. But Gene can get quite sophisticated with things. If you want to ask it how two people are different, how they would work together, Gene can also provide those calculations as well. Gene can also handle quite complex scenarios as well. So I'm going to give Gene the scenario of I'm interviewing an adapter for an engineering role. His manager is a strategist, and they have very different creativity scores. So as you'll notice here, Alex has a very low creative score, 42. And let's say that his boss is highly creative at a 71. What conflicts would they have? So this is a very real-world scenario that you might have whenever you're using our platform to hire candidates. So as you can see, Gene tells you specifically, as a coach would, how you would approach this particular situation and maybe some conflicts that they would have. So our goal is to bring high-level behavioral coaching to the everyday masses. So we have done a ton of research in order to train and refine all these AI models to really get to the nuances of behavior and how people work together. When it comes to how two people would work together, the best way to see that is on a comparison report. So let's say that we're bringing Ronnie into an interview with Jason, who is his potential manager, and we want to see how they're going to work together and maybe some conflicts and maybe some strengths that they may have. So we can generate a comparison report, which is a side-by-side report of two people. And the system will do all the heavy lifting and figure out all the different communication keys, maybe some conflicts, and even what the style match is. So as you can see, Ronnie and Jason are very similar. They're 89% match. A lot of firms use this for really creative scenarios, such as if they're replacing a candidate that was a total rock star, you can use the rock star candidate as a benchmark and then figure out the style match between the new candidate and the rock star. Or if you need to fill in some gaps and maybe bring in some behavioral diversity, that's another way that you can do this as well. Things get really interesting in the system whenever you compare 3 or more people because we can start to develop a team report. So we can plot everybody into some graphs and a dashboard and show how they would work together in a project team. So as you can see here, I'm generating a team report. One thing that's really cool about the system is that you can customize all these reports. So anytime that you see the life code, financial, branding, or the colors that we have, the blue colors, that can all be customized for your firm. You can also even change the report names. So Life Code Financial is just our demo company. So anytime that you see this logo or the branding, just swap it out with your own. So we've done a lot of really cool enterprise work where firms will use, the Coca-Cola red and then the Coca-Cola logo and completely transform our reports to match their own branding. As you can see, we want this to highlight your own branding rather than ours. So we allow you to really adapt the language and the colors and the branding to really make it your own. So these team reports are a step-by-step approach of facilitating a team. So we start with the unique styles, then results in relationships, how the team would work together, and then we go through a factor analysis, and then towards the end it has more of the contextual insights such as strengths, struggles, and performance environment keys. So now let's talk about how we actually get this data. So there's 2 ways that we can get the data. Primarily, individuals can take a questionnaire, or discovery as we call it, and this can be deployed either through a link, which is the no-code option, or if you would like to integrate this into a client portal or an employee portal like an intranet or an LMS, that can also happen. So we have an SDK where your developers can actually embed our screens and our system into yours and make that a whole seamless experience. That's what you're viewing here. So everything that you see, the life code financial example, just swap that out with your own. So your logos would just automatically show up there, and so is your brand colors. The video and the instructions can be edited on your side, and you can see that the system is in 14 different languages. Users can choose their own language, so it's quite flexible. And whenever the discovery is started, individuals can immediately start taking the question. So this is what the typical questionnaire looks like. It's a forced choice questionnaire where individuals choose one most and one least like selection out of 3 options. So I'm choosing one most and one least out of influencing, brave, and concerned. So the blues that you're seeing on the screen here are all my branding colors that I've applied in the system, and I can easily change those and swap those out to be other ones if I would like. And whenever individuals complete the assessment, you also can choose which insights you want them to see. So you can pick and choose between many different of the insights that I was showing you a moment ago. The report, you can choose if you want to show the 5 scores or a text-based example of how they would operate in the workplace. That can all be customized for you. Or if you would like to go completely custom, you can make this questionnaire flash away, and then you can build your own dashboard on your side so that that can be in your own screens in your own system, and thank the person for spending the time to take the assessment and make that uniquely yours. So that's all an option, and you can use our API for that. If you're interested in using our API, you can access our API developer portal at developers.dnabehavior.com, and you can see a full list of all the API calls that you can make, even see some sample code, and get that in front of your developers so that they can make that uniquely yours. So now I'm going to show you a very unique feature that's special to DNA Behavior, and that's the award-winning digital scan. So coaches love this tool because it saves so much time. And essentially what we've done is reverse engineered our own system. So there's over 3 million people that have taken the assessment. If you imagine there's 3 million people that have all spent anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes answering those same questions that I just showed on the screen. So it's a lot of data that we have on those particular individuals and the choices that they make. In addition to that, we had all their career information. So we know what career they're at, what point in their life they're at that career. We also know what type of company that they work for. Is it a large company or a small company? We also know some of their education history for some of these individuals. And we've also matched some of this data up in a research study and also found the demographic data sources for them. So what we're collecting is a massive data set that we then can benchmark your contacts against and do a forecast or a prediction of their behavioral style. Now, this doesn't replace entirely the discovery. It's at 70% accurate, but it's a lot better than guessing. And there's some really cool work that we can do in order to apply behavior at scale, both with employees and clients. So I'm not going to show you how that works in the admin system. When your account is enabled with Digital Scan, you'll see this additional button that says Scan that's on the users page. Now, any user that you have scanned, it has this AI icon, and if you hover over it, it says Predicted Results with Digital Scan. So to scan a particular person, all you need to do is provide their first name, their last name, their company, their job title, and their email address. And we do the rest. So we're going to benchmark them against the other data that we have in our system. So there's over 3 million people we're going to benchmark them against. And we're also going to hunt and find if we can access any additional information that's available publicly. So for instance, we can find out education history, where someone is at in their career, potentially where they live in the US. And there's different behavioral trends that we can find with that and associate with their forecast. One really interesting thing about digital scan records is that you can use all of the system features, but it's just at a forecasted or predicted level rather than the full accuracy. So looking at a record that's actually been digitally scanned, I just digitally scanned Mark Cuban here, and I actually think this is spot on. I would agree with that he's an initiator. I'm going to go into full screen presenter mode, which is a tool that we developed so that you can walk through different results with clients on screen in a Zoom. And you can see Mark Cuban is an initiator. You can read about initiators and the different styles here. And as you can note, all of the system features, such as reports, in-depth insights, it's all enabled with the digital scan record, which is quite cool because this makes this compatible with your other records inside your system. So if you're moving over from another competitor platform, such as if you're using Clifton Strengths or Disk, we can import in all your records so that you don't lose that data, and then you can compare them against additional records that you're adding into that you've used the full scan discovery with. So that's one really cool thing. A lot of people ask, how do we know that digitally scan is accurate? There's two things that we've actually added as feedback loops that help make the system smarter. So the first is that users can indicate if the insights were accurate or not. So you can give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Many times you're going to know and interact with these people in the wild. So you're going to know if this was a spot on digital scan or not. So this one is great. I would agree Mark Cuban is an initiator after following him for many years, so I'm going to give that a thumbs up. The next is that if I dispatch a full scan, so the questionnaire, to Mark Cuban, and he takes the profile, I then can compare using our algorithms the digital scan versus the full scan and compare those two, and the system automatically makes itself smarter. So you can use this for employees or clients in our system. And if you can imagine, there's so much consulting and coaching work that you can do whenever you can remove the friction of completing questionnaires. One way that digital scan saves time is, imagine if you're preparing for a team facilitation session and Mark is on vacation and he's not able to complete his assessment on time, or is running late, or just got added to the team, but you still want to include him with some forecasted insights. You could digitally scan a user and then quickly add them to a team report. Now our system will demonstrate to you if a particular person has not completed the full scan. We're going to give you a warning so that you don't get it mixed up with the other individuals. That's all been covered for you. So as you can see on the cover page, it says one or more individuals selected in this report have insights based on digital scan. That way you know, and you're not caught off guard if the person has not completed the full discovery. Speaking of time-saving tips, one of my favorite features of the system is automated reminders. So we're constantly running into scenarios where people forget to take the assessment, or you assign it and they haven't completed it on time. We build an automated system and allow you to provide your own reminder text into this box. So if people have started and haven't completed the discovery or whatever the issue may be, the system does the heavy lifting for you and chases them down and makes sure that they complete it on time. Just to highlight the breadth of the system, you can have a panel that has your team, so your coaching team or your HR team in one area, and then you can have another area for employees or clients or both. And then in addition to that, you can create tags. So you can use the system however you would like to track whoever you would want to know on a better basis, and then create tags for them. So we have many people that use this for employees or clients or both. You may want to track people that have applied for a specific job, or that you met at a specific networking event, or at a specific conference, or that you met through a Facebook link or an email signature link. You can create tags for all of those and track and filter them accordingly. In addition, you can do really cool drill downs and then identify people's unique style and create a list off of that. You can do it based off of status. If you do need to give a manual reminder to an individual or see where people are at in the journey, you can find everybody that's either scheduled, in progress, or completed. You can sort and filter people based on completion date. You can also sort and filter people based on factor, which I quite love. So if I'm working on a project, we often have projects at DNA that require a lot of innovation drive and ingenuity. I can then change the score so it's 50 to 80, so it would be people that are highly creative. And if I hit submit, I then can see everybody on my team that matches this criteria. One advanced tool that we built into the system is that the URL automatically adjusts. Now, this is kind of a minute thing that most people wouldn't realize, but the thing that's cool about this is you can share this link with a colleague on Teams, Slack, or an email. And whenever they open up this particular link inside of their account, as long as they're in the same account as yours, they're going to see the same filtering view as you. So there's a lot of really neat things you can do that are time saving that you can apply whenever you have the specific link to a specific filter. In addition, whenever you have a menu filtered with a specific way, you can just hit download and you can see how fast this operates. I'm just going to click download, and then immediately I have an Excel spreadsheet that's downloaded with all the participants that meet that particular filter. So there's a lot of really cool things you can do to save time in our system, and we really developed it with coaches and consultants in mind that are jumping between a lot of teams. So if you've seen enough that interests you in order to try it out for yourself, I urge you to go to our website. It's dnabehavior.com. Hover over the solutions menu and then platform pricing, and you can sign up for a trial. So we have a very generous trial program, and we allow everybody to try before you buy, and there's a 90-day money-back guarantee. So if you're unhappy at all with the system or your experience, no questions asked, we'll give you your money back, and then you can move on. So there's really no risk to give it a try, and we'll be happy to help you and support you along your way. Thank you.